you get hit by Falco, you're getting hit. And when you've got Puff just waiting up there, and Falco's combos put you in very similar spots every time, and the synergy to know where to go with Puff, that can just get you off stage, and then you're probably going to die because Falco's going to cover low and Puff's going to cover high. But we know Juanpi and MuteAce, they're great players. They know how to get around this stuff. So we just got to see how they do it.
Well, overall excited to see how they handle this game. It looks like we might be getting a quick button check right now, and maybe good for it. I just saw that
button check when you get the Stitch face. Wait, are we gonna play?
No, we're not. No, just run it off. The Stitch face.
That's so unfortunate for MuteAce getting a Stitch face that early in the game.
It's okay. That's bad luck. That's bad luck. You don't want the Stitch face that early. You do not want the Stitch face that early.
Is that Peach Wives' Tales or something?
No, I think that's just my own superstition at this point.
Okay,
you cannot have a Stitch face that early because you might get a bomb next. What if you? Whoopsie. Just.
I'm here for that. Also, goated music pick to go with Moonsiders first. We love taking music in this house.
I mean, any games in the FGC we're always a fan of to get any other spotlight. So always happy to see more FGC games represented across the board. But back to Small Battlefield. Button check is over. Here we go. Syphir and UKIT versus Juanpi and MuteAce.
And right out of the gate, we see the auto reticle. We see float cancels from MuteAce. Both players just trying to establish their space. But like you said, Falco and Puff looking for these air-to-airs and trying to get something going. But Palutena is a scary character to go air-to-air with because sometimes she just out-air-airs you even if you think you're better than her. Oh, I thought we saw the rest early.
Right now, I was going to say there is one very awesome thing that MuteAce and Juanpi are doing. They are just bullying the Falco. They are saying, forget the Puff. Let's take the Falco out of the equation. Already at 123, there's been a couple of Sings that have already landed, so we know that either Syphir or UKIT, I don't know who's playing, what is looking to set them up.
UKIT's Puff.
Awesome.
If I recall correctly, UKIT's Puff.
Ooh, a nice double for Juanpi.
I was just getting ready to talk about how well they were doing at keeping both Juanpi and MuteAce at the ledge, not letting them come back.
Ooh.
And then they got bursted by Palutena's up air for that.
Dang, that nair almost took Juanpi out, but stock now reset. Juanpi on fresh legs, looking to continue this aerial dominance against UKIT and Syphir.
Palutena's Bair, I mean, it's been said a million times, but again, especially against these characters that want to air-to-air, Palutena's Bair is really going to work against their favor and prevent them from doing the edge trapping, the edge guarding and ledge trapping that they want to get with their air-to-airs.
I think more importantly is that nair is just so all-encompassing, and being able to contest either Falco or Puff freely adds so much to Juanpi's kit. Right now, it feels like there's nothing they can do once they get put into this blender between MuteAce and Juanpi.
Playing ping pong with the Puffs.
139 on the Falco right now, and that back air almost took him out from center stage, but MuteAce losing their stock early.
MuteAce is doing a great job throwing great burst options when UKIT has them off the stage. And it's preventing UKIT from doing any of what Puff wants to do, like the sharking, the hovering the space, but MuteAce is just so quick to get an option out and say, no, you're not going to contest the space. I'm coming back to stage whether you like it or not.
And still hammering away at the shield on Falco. You can see how aggressive both Juanpi and MuteAce are playing. I do like to see how UKIT is able to set up the Sings as they're rising back to the ledge, but losing that final stock and getting stage spiked, it might not be, oh, it's just barely enough. And
that down smash, it's crazy. It's crazy. Why did they do that?
It's hard to deal with that, man. When you get sent at such a weird angle, it's really hard to come back from that position, but
Can we brag on UKIT for a second? When Syphir was off stage, one of the things I noticed is that UKIT almost body blocked. Put a traffic cone between the stage and Syphir to prevent any form of crazy ledge trapping because Puff can come back, but Falco can't. So to be there in position to body block and prevent Syphir from getting hit so Syphir can recover, great double synergy. We'd love to see that.
Well, yeah, I think part of that is knowing that UKIT is able to go off stage. More importantly, Falco has a great ability to recover. The Firebird is awesome. We have other things going on, but what I want to see is how UKIT is going off stage using the up air just to soft reset you. Say, okay, it's not enough, that's fine, get back. Running it back on small battlefield, I think that we do have a good position for them to at least set up some type of perimeter on MuteAce and Juanpi, but we're going to have to see a much more active role from UKIT right now.
And right in the same vein, UKIT has done a great job already racking up little bits of percents. And asking you shall receive, Ducks. Asking you shall receive. UKIT heard you and said, I'll do you one better.
Look at that synergy. They have absolutely practiced that handoff before. It's automatic. When you have players that have that type of automatic handoff, much like MuteAce and Juanpi do right now, you already know this is going to be an amazing set between the two. And Syphir closing out another stock and setting up an early lead.
The awareness from these players to really lock in and kind of go against the grain of what you were just saying. They're aware that they're doing it, but they can do it too.
Oh, I like
the stall.
Not enough. MuteAce gets spiked at a bad angle and is already down another stock.
Syphir and UKIT bullying Juanpi, saying you cannot go save your partner. We will not let you pass.
It's almost like the game plans have just been inverted that we saw from the previous game where Juanpi and MuteAce were smothering one person. Now it's UKIT and Syphir's turn to run away with it. And
isn't that what good Ultimate's about? I love to see the comeback because it means the players are adapting. And the great nair to save Syphir.
Saturn's still online though. So
I do not want to see UKIT throw that shield one time. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Ooh. It's so dangerous right now. You cannot have that shield around the Sat. Ooh. If you want, I was about to say, part of this is there is such an aggressive fight to get the item off the stage, but it's conflict. There it is. Immediately throwing that item off the stage, that Saturn off the stage. A great job from UKIT, and it's already body blocking on the side to set up this great ledge trap against MuteAce. UKIT is doing such a good job of setting up this trap where the nairs and back airs are oppressing these players and keeping them locked off stage.
And Juanpi finally getting back to stage after UKIT's great edge guards. Oh, and getting MuteAce out of here and UKIT finishing off Juanpi's stock.
Great
and
job.
the handoffs you were talking about, both of these characters almost seeing another drag down finish.
And more importantly, they're able to get these conversions very, very swiftly. And it's always off of something like a fair where the launch angle is very predictable.
I was just going to say, you could see UKIT hovering out off stage when Syphir went for the nair, knowing that that was going to happen, fishing for it, getting the kill. And a great comeback from those players. Ooh, love to see it. Adapting, we love it.
All right, I hate to say it this way. You cannot go back. Okay, we're going back to small battle. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about.
They've got a point to prove. They've got a point to prove.
Yeah, you have to run it back, I guess. And I think part of the game plan is, I hate to say it, let MuteAce take point. Let MuteAce take point.
Let MuteAce do what MuteAce does
sit
best.
in the back and deal with UKIT.
Absolutely, and you had mentioned it. Palu's nair is so good at contesting, and I don't think that they're getting a chance to really do their game plans the way they want to. And we're seeing it already. Keeping MuteAce locked down in the corner. UKIT using the pound to stump that shield.
And that's part of the double-edged sword, where UKIT is able to hammer away at the shield. You feel less and less comfortable around UKIT getting spiked down.
That air dodge is so good. Oh, and looking for the rest off of the nair again.
But able to recover.
MVP to Syphir, keeping him alive there.
What great defense being played by Syphir, but still in a dangerous position. 113 up to 124 on the board. That Palu nair is going to threaten so much damage onto UKIT and barely, Syphir rather. And
great F smash right on the throw invincibility. Oh, that was beautiful. The synergy from these players really stacking up.
Wow, great job from Syphir. they are just setting up such good offense for UKIT, but more importantly, that Nair is the ultimate driver for their offense. The way that UKIT is able to read the trajectory of the Nair, getting either a rest or something else, is unbelievable.
And I'm going to sound silly when I say it, but hear me out. Syphir and UKIT are doing, they're hitting, when they get a chance to like pick at one player individually, they're almost hitting them like scissors from each side. They're like, Falco is hitting low and Puff is hitting high, and it's such a bad way to be in. And just like getting hit by the Juanpi down air there, that's a really bad way to be.
Yeah, MuteAce and Juanpi forcing the one-on-ones, which I think is their strong suit. If you can force individual matchups instead of a ping-pong situation, they're definitely getting a lot more success, because when you have UKIT and Syphir pushing you back into each other and feeding that damage, it's been hard for Juanpi and MuteAce to come back at all. But when they get the one-on-ones, either setup, MuteAce and Juanpi are converting tons of damage and quickly burning stocks.
And I was talking about how Palu's Nair is so good against Puff, but Puff's Nair stopping Palu's teleport from getting back to ledge almost every time. Oh, no follow-up there from UKIT.
Syphir immediately closing out the stock on MuteAce at 112. Ooh. Getting a little bit close. This is the last hit situation for some of these players right now.
I love the decision from Syphir to get out of that horrible spot. Despite wanting to keep your opponent at the ledge and really try to play to Falco's advantages, yeah, I love the decision to just play it safe. We're seeing some great decision making from both players right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see how both of these players are. Good close from UKIT, but unfortunately taking out Syphir as well. Last stocks for MuteAce and Juanpi, but it's definitely going to be a battle uphill for UKIT to close this out.
I love the pound to dodge the explosive flame. And we're just seeing Sing and Nair from UKIT, but it's not enough.
Rising up air, closing out that game and bringing it home for MuteAce and Juanpi. Again, this was a pretty solid game plan from MuteAce and Juanpi. They got the one-on-ones that they really wanted.
And they did it on the stage that they wanted. They took it back.
I still don't see them changing this stage, but if you are Syphir and UKIT, you have to think of a way to break that one-on-one. Or at least
it's just to get them apart, far enough apart where they can enact their game plan again, like they did in Game 2. And one thing I noticed, Falco, a lot of multi-hits, a lot of cutscene combos, but we're seeing Puff's down air and Falco's Nair catch their partner way too much. And it's just one of the unfortunate side effects of having characters with a little bit of wacky hitboxes, right?
Well, it's not even just the part of like sometimes the hitboxes are a little bit weird, but with the game plan where you're trying to fight in this ping-pongy air-to-air situation, if you have both Juanpi and MuteAce decide to disengage, you do set up that situation much easier. But when one of them decides to take point like they did last game, it's much harder to set up your win condition.
Right now, I was going to say MuteAce getting the juggle on UKIT. Pretty solid win condition there for Peach. Do not want Puff to land at all. But Syphir coming in clutch, breaking up the scrap a little bit, trying to get the characters separated like we were just talking about.
And more importantly, jailbreaking UKIT out from Palu's blender. They're both doing a great job of playing defense for each other and not letting that damage easily rack up. Juanpi has been taking the brunt of the damage for the team, but that back air closes it out.
And UKIT has been swinging a lot at Puff. Oh, and getting the Nair on Syphir. And now we're looking a little bit like the last game. Great back air confirmed from Syphir to get MuteAce off stage, but not quite in kill percent. Obviously, unless rest comes out, but
51% off that string from Juanpi onto Syphir. You have to be so cognizant of the advantage state of these types of players from Juanpi and MuteAce, especially with how quickly they're able to convert on any opportunity. I think right now you have to at least do something a little bit different with how you're setting up these, because MuteAce is at a pretty high percent. Almost.
Oh,
there it is.
Almost turned into something else. We'd love to see it. Oh, and a great recovery from Syphir to get back there through the turnip with the air dodge. Love it.
Even more cool, spiking Juanpi with the Phantom so you can get back, ultimately losing the stock, but that's a great way to seal the fate for Juanpi and bring this game a little bit closer. UKIT sitting at a decently high percent, but
UKIT trying to silence Juanpi.
I mean, outstage, you have to. Palu has only so many limited options to get back to the stage, and if you can intercept that route, it's so hard to make.
What is he doing? Little silly goose.
Oh no. Poor UKIT is now set up in the 2v1 again, and 2 stocks remain on MuteAce.
And the one good thing about still like being low percent right now against these characters, Puff has the ability to kind of bob and weave it through the air and avoid some of these hitboxes, but it's looking really rough for UKIT right now.
It's looking pretty difficult, and one of the harder aspects of this as well is if you decide to sit in shield like you just did, you set yourself up for Palutena grabs. It's pretty difficult to come back from that type of situation, but ultimately, Juanpi and MuteAce close out the set 3-1.
At least it was an elegant way to go out, right? Just getting carried out by Peach's beautiful parasol.
I think they played an amazing set. Syphir and UKIT have done a great job overall, but when you have that type of momentum, it feels like doubles is such a momentum game. And once MuteAce and Juanpi started clicking, it's really hard to take back that game. I understand that they did get that game too. It was a really great play from both of them, but it's really difficult to make it back, especially once you do get that steamroller of the one-on-ones that eventually just kind of bowl out of control.
And you said it very well. The name of the game for both teams was momentum, and that's exactly what we saw game 2 that got UKIT and Syphir the win against MuteAce and Juanpi was that beautiful carry of momentum. Stocks went down, defense locked up, and they did not let MuteAce and Juanpi get another head on them. And they countered that. I'm sorry, being very vague. MuteAce and Juanpi countered that so well going into games 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did a really good job of changing up their strategy, their positioning on stage, and more importantly, how they were attacking Syphir and UKIT. I think overall they've done a great job of walling out and keeping pressure onto the team. But no breaks for MuteAce and Juanpi. They are just rolling into another set. I think that also does kind of play to their strength right now. You do have a hot hand.
It's a momentum game. You just said it.
Yeah, it's a moment. You have the hot hand.